Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to the DVAS table. I'm Laura, and this is Rebecca with me.
Good evening, I am Rebecca. Again, welcome back to the DVAS table live. So we are streaming on Facebook. Hopefully folks out there are able to participate, take a look. At any point in time, if you want to add comments or have questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. Looking forward to talking with y'all tonight. So this is a very specific awareness month. As you may know, March 13th to April 15th is Deaf History Month, very significant in our community. And then April 15th is National ASL Day. Thirdly, I really wanted to let you know that Sexual Assault Awareness Month is currently in April. I'm going to talk about all three of these different topics, but we wanted to start off with a quick short ASL story by Nicholas Lelaine. He's going to be citing in pure ASL. It's an alphabet story. All the manual alphabet letters will be there. It will not be voice interpreted, so please enjoy. Really nice way to start our evening tonight. Laura, do you want to talk about the different categories of sexual assault for this awareness month?
Sure, I'd be happy to do that. So again, this is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and there are a variety of categories. The first one is rape, then molestation. There's unwanted sexual context in any form. There's sexual harassment, incest, that happens between family members that experience sexual assault, child sexual abuse, sexual violence, and that can even happen with an intimate partner. There's sexual exploitation, human trafficking, and something called voyeurism, which is new to me. Rebecca, maybe you want to explain what that's all about?
Sure. So voyeurism is a specific category, which means that people who are not really interacting with someone face to face, but they kind of stand off on the sidelines, watch what people are doing sexually in the bedroom, and watch it because that is giving them pleasure. But again, they don't have connections with people, but they are basically snooping to see what people are doing. And oftentimes people think that sexual harassment and sexual assault are happening for very specific reasons, but honestly, it happens and it really has an impact on so many people, and you might not realize it. Laura has said that indeed, there's lots of posts out there on Instagram, as well as social media, Facebook and the like, talking about different experiences. So I've picked two that I want to share with you. There is an estimated 50% of the deaf community that has been sexually abused as children. 50%, that's a very high number in our community. The other stat I wanted to share that I found from social media is that deaf survivors of sexual assault face a multitude of barriers and stereotypes when choosing to report. Some of these barriers include linguistic barriers with the general hearing population, limited access to media information and resources, lack of knowledge and skills by service providers, lack of TTYs or video phones or relay services or interpreters available, and a bias and exclusion from the general hearing population. So again, those biases from the population really is a detriment to people wanting to communicate and share their story, in addition to all the other barriers. About 5% of people actually make reports. 5, that's it, because of all these layers of barriers. It's so unfortunate. So we are trying to change that system so the percentage is higher in who's reporting, so people feel more comfortable reporting. That is our ultimate goal. At this point, I also wanted to just share, we understand this is a sensitive topic. We understand people have their own personal experiences and journeys, and it could range for something that happened that might feel like it's not a big deal, but really it is. And people have some really intense experiences out there. And all of these that we listed out, regardless of if you think it's big or small, it is all sexual assault or sexual harassment. If you've experienced it, that is your experience. Let us know if you need help and support. There are resources out there. We want to support you.
Yes, we want to let you know that you're not alone out there. And that's why we're here and bringing DVAS Table to you, so that we can bring some resources to you during this special Sexual Assault Awareness Month. I also want to share one of my own very personal stories. You know, I am one of those people who have been through one of those journeys, one of those terrible journeys. And it still affects me today. It started when I was about 15 years old. I was very young and naive. And I was just curious, you know. I was young, as I mentioned, and I wasn't really aware or knowledgeable about what was best for me. I was just, I just didn't have that experience. And I was in a relationship with a person who was a couple years older than me. And we went to a small school together. And, you know, what happened was this guy paid attention to me and he liked me. And I thought it was so nice to have somebody like me. And I was so excited, you know, being young and being given that attention. So it's almost like, you know, it was my first crush. But then as things went on, I started to have more of a relationship with this person. And it happened to be a long-term relationship. In the beginning, I thought everything was fine and everything was normal. And it was kind of a good thing that I was clueless, because I kept everything secret. I didn't share with a lot of people about our relationship. There was just maybe a small select group of people who I might have shared a few things with. But, you know, I was still at that crush stage. I was still excited. And I kept all these secrets to myself because, you know, I thought it was so great. And I didn't think it was anybody else's business. So as time went on, you know, I noticed that this person started to manipulate me just to get what they wanted. It was emotional manipulation. They criticized my body. They would tell me what to do. They would criticize my choices that I made. And for many reasons, I just, you know, I was kind of in a quandary, like, do they like me or not? I was questioning if I was doing something wrong or not. Like, why was this happening? Am I good enough as a person? So all these questions I had, and my friends would say, you know, oh, you know, just, you know, get away from that relationship. It's not important, or it's not a big deal. So I wasn't really sure how to feel at that time. Was what our relationship was right or wrong? And again, being young and naive, I didn't have that experience to tell me what was appropriate or not. I was able to get out of that relationship after 7 years, but still that cycle mentally is ongoing for me. It was hard to leave somebody who's so manipulative, you know, emotionally, psychologically. Really, I just didn't think I could leave. You know, I didn't know what a healthy relationship was. I thought it might be, but, you know, I was afraid to leave as well. And I don't think I was ready to leave. You know, it's this 7-year process of what I thought was normal for everybody. So it wasn't something that you could just walk away from. And again, it was a cycle, you know, and it's hard just to get out of a toxic relationship like that. So I was one of those people who experienced this type of, you know, terrible sexual assault in that way. It wasn't healthy. And finally, I realized, you know, I need to get out of that, even though I didn't have a lot of resources at the time. It really was hurtful to me. It really kind of destroyed me in a lot of ways. It really had such an amazing impact. Even though it happened so long ago when I was 15, it really has made me a different person, to go through all that emotional and psychological abuse. So looking back, I realized, it wasn't, my fault. It wasn't a mistake on my part. It was the other persons in the relationship. They took advantage, and they, were abusive in so many ways. It's easy to get caught up in that kind of thing. But people out there, I just want to let you know that you're not alone, that I've also been through all this pain and struggle, and it's not easy. And I'm so happy that I did get out of that relationship. I'm happy that I'm a healthier person now, and that I'm just able to move on. So yeah, that's my small story that I want to share with you, but there were so many different things that impacted me mentally, emotionally. It was draining. It was manipulative. It was a struggle just to keep going. And it was lonely too, because being 15 and not having many options of who to date in this small rural area, and within the deaf community as well, there wasn't many options at that time. So, that's why I decided to go forward with it. And I wanted that attention. When you're young, that's what makes you feel good and kind of develop your self-esteem, when somebody looks at you and wants to have a relationship with you. So it was uplifting at the time. And I think this person used a form of gaslighting, through all those years. I thought it was good enough, but at the time, they would tell me to work on things, or they would say things like, a lot of people don't like you. And just all of those different gaslighting techniques were used during this relationship to make me doubt myself. And that person wasn't really nice to me. One day they would be nice, and the next day they wouldn't. It was just a roller coaster of not knowing what to expect from this person. And sometimes we'd be in contact with each other for a month at a time, and it'd go great. And then, the next month it would be totally opposite. I might not have been satisfied, and that person was, or vice versa. And we'd go along for several months at a time being okay, and then it would just shift. And, it's almost like we acted like nothing happened, but it was just, like I said, it was a roller coaster, and it wasn't easy to go through. So I did find a way to get out of that relationship. And I decided after that, that I just don't want to continue a toxic relationship like that. Really, it wasn't until I was 21 or 22 and started going to college and seeing the world and different options that were out there. I saw my parents in their relationship. I saw, my siblings in their relationship, and noticed it was different than what I had experienced. And I kept that relationship secret for so many years. I don't know how I actually did that, but, I realized I deserved to be important and worthwhile and proud of myself. And I want a relationship where I can be proud of my partner and be proud of myself, and not keep everything secret and in the dark or hidden. So knowing that it was a toxic relationship, I knew that I had to get out of it. And it was really all about that other person, gaslighting and using other techniques to make me feel bad about myself, to make me not trust myself, to make me cry, to make me always wonder about what I was doing wrong. So I decided, yeah, it was time to stop and leave. And I did leave. And it was hard. And it took time. And it took space for me to move on, and, to get the information I need to move on. And there were times when they wanted to get back in my life, and I wouldn't let that happen. I tried to distract myself with college and schoolwork and, hang out with other friends and focusing on different things that I like to do. and not have to worry about that toxic relationship that I experienced. So now I feel like I'm a better, more healthy person, and I'm able to move on and have a healthier relationship. So I'm thankful that I was able to remove myself. So that's part of my journey. And I just thought I'd share that today. And I want to be able to support anybody out there or anybody that's going through that. I just want to give back to the community so that they can learn that they can get through something as well and that they're not alone. So I'm here for you. I'm here to support you. I'm here to listen to you. And thanks so much for listening to my story. So Rebecca, I'll let you take over.
Wow, Laura, thank you so much for sharing your personal journey. You're an inspiration to share and to realize that it is possible to get out of those toxic relationships. And I think every individual is going to have a different experience in coming to terms with where they're at. Some people are able to leave those types of toxic relationships readily, but it takes at least 7 times to try to break that cycle of abuse before someone actually finally leaves them. So be it sexual violence, sexual assault, physical, emotional abuse, it takes at least 7 attempts for someone to be out of that relationship. It doesn't happen readily or easily. So again, each individual has their own plan. They need to make sure it's safe. They need to make sure they're ready. They need to make sure that they have the resources, and just know there's no right or wrong way to do this. You have to do what's right for yourself. So everyone's journey is their own and it is unique, and we honor that. So in Vermont, I want to make sure that anybody who lives here, as Laura said, you're not alone. DVAST is here for you in any way, shape, or form that you need. So I'm going to share a screen share to give you options of resources so you can keep these in mind.
Yes, and also I just wanted to add that if any of you are really struggling or not sure what to do or how, if you're not comfortable sharing with somebody, please, I know from my experience, please find someone that you can trust, somebody you're comfortable with sharing, somebody that won't judge you or criticize you. It's important that you find somebody that, really the right person who will listen and hear you out as you share your story, and that can provide support for you and help you along in this journey. You need somebody that will give you what you need, and that's really important. That's something important to think about.
Absolutely. All right, here is the screen share. So as you can see listed here, there is Amber Schaeffler, Elaine Morse. They are both from Vermont. You're welcome to reach out to them at any point in time to figure out some steps. If you need guidance, they can help you. And then online, there's nationaldeaftherapy.com as well as deafcounseling.com. You can also check out those resources and see if they might be something you want to reach out to.
Yeah, and also, of course, you can contact Rebecca or myself. We're part of that resource list, and we're here to help you. We're here to guide you and help you find the right resources that you need. And it's a free service, so please don't be afraid to reach out and ask us.
Right. And in addition to that, I really want to emphasize that with the work that DVAST does, everything is confidential. That is our #1 priority. I know in general, oftentimes people feel hesitant to reach out to another member of the deaf community and share these intimate details. They don't want, word to spread like wildfire. So just FYI, we are unique in that confidentiality is our utmost importance. This is #1 priority for us. We will listen to you. Whatever you share with us stays with us, and we do not judge, we do not share. So it's between yourself and DVAST.
Absolutely. We just want to support you on your journey and what decisions you make.
Exactly. Yeah. So Laura, do you see anything pop up in the comments or the chat?
No, I don't see any comments. I do see that we have 5 people viewing. So those who are watching us, if you have any comments, please feel free to type them in, and we'll be happy to listen to you, and whatever you think, whatever you need, we're here for you.
And while we're waiting for people to ponder if they want to chime in, Laura, keep an eye on that. And if nothing comes through, then I can wrap us up with another ASL story. And actually, Laura, while I'm thinking of it, it's been a rainy day. We've had some thunder and lightning today, and Laura's power went off. So luckily,
Yes.
it seems we've made it through today without error. Knock on wood, whatever you've got around you.
Yes, it did. I'm so glad it came back on. You know, I put out my request out there, and luckily the electricity came back on. I'm so thankful it's holding on through this Facebook Live. So it doesn't seem there's any comments. So I'll let you go ahead and share, Rebecca.
Yeah, fair enough. So to wrap us up, I know we've had some pretty intense conversation. Thank you, Laura, again, for sharing your personal story and journey. So I wanted to end with an ASL story to leave on a bit of a higher note. So again, Nicholas Lane, and he made this video, gosh, years ago. And I remember him signing it all those years back in high school. So please enjoy. Again, no voice interpretation.
That was really cool. That's so fun. Thanks for sharing that.
Absolutely. So just thinking about ASL stories and how they're so phenomenal. Poetry in written English uses words to inspire people and provoke thought and visions. But ASL storytelling is three-dimensional and four-dimensional. And ASL poetry and storytelling is just tremendous. You get the visual and kinesthetic and even emotional response.
Yes, our language, our expression, our way of communicating just shows how we feel and expresses our thoughts and our vision. So everything is in 3 dimensions or 4 dimensions. It's right there. It's like painting a picture. It's like art too.
Absolutely. Very true. Yeah, it's the art of ASL. All right. So I think we are done for tonight, unless there's anything you're seeing.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't see any comments. I wonder if maybe there are some comments here and I can't see them, but hopefully if not, next time people are viewing us, they're willing to have some more comments and get in touch with us. And we would just love to hear from anybody out there and get your feedback. It just makes it more pleasurable for us to work with you all.
Great. Thank you for your time and have a wonderful evening. Take good care.
Yes, thanks everybody. Have a
Bye.
wonderful evening. Bye-bye.